Hi, this is Eric Lenask. We're in Miami for ITEXPO. On the program with me today from Simplesignal is Dave Gilbert. Dave, good to see you.
Good to see you again.
So, you were mentioning something that I guess is always an interesting conversation, especially at ITEXPO. Kind of the trend in which way businesses are leaning these days towards hosted or towards cloud, or are they still deploying on-prem solutions? Are they migrating from one to the other? What's going on? What are you seeing?
Yeah, I would say that clearly it's the world that wants to go to the cloud. Mm-hmm. We've been talking about this thing for 10 years.
Yeah.
But really now it's starting to shift in a way that's starting to really matter, even up into the M of the SMB, that middle-sized business, right into the enterprise. They're actually trusting the cloud like no other time that I can remember. So it's pretty fun.
So
big shift.
It's an interesting way of putting it. Is that they're actually trusting the cloud, because that certainly was. As far as I can remember, probably the biggest detractor is, we don't know if cloud is secure. We don't really trust it. We got to, especially as you say, when you get up into the larger M's and into the enterprise space, we trust that our data center is secure.
Yeah.
Up for debate whether that's actually the case or not.
Yeah.
But so that to me is a huge point.
Yeah, we are definitely seeing a shift in this way, and those guys who want to hug their servers are starting to let go of them, because they're building the rest of the enterprise out with applications that are all put in the cloud somewhere. I mean, even when you realize that Google is in itself just a big cloud, and people still trust it all day, every day. And so I think that helped us make that shift 4 or 5 years ago, but now it's fully blown. It's actually happening really, really fast.
In a lot of ways, it's interesting. You mentioned Google, but in a lot of ways, we don't really have a choice but to trust Google.
Yeah, you really don't.
It's kind of there, and in some capacity, we all use something from Google.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about what Simplesignal is doing with Google.
So that's those applications. So it's not just about voice anymore. It's really about all of those apps that combine to create an overall solution for all of the ways that a business communicates and collaborates. Because you can think of the myriads of ways that a business has to communicate. And really, somebody needs to come in and help them know how to do that on purpose. So we have guys on our team that are experts at integrating things like Google, that go to a business and say, here is a suite of applications that we can pull together to answer your business communication problems. And so that's what we do. We try to make it really simple for them that way. The other thing that's happening is with Microsoft. So Microsoft 365 moved into Lync. Now it's going to, in a few months, become Skype for Business. But really, these iterations are just making Microsoft more and more of a communications company.
Yes.
But what we're seeing is that a lot of the VARs, a lot of the system integrators really don't know how to do telco. They don't know how to bill for it. They don't know how to do the regulatory pieces. They don't know how to hold a server up 24/7. And so as a result of that, they're wanting to get some help on the communication side. So that's what we're doing. We're stepping into Lync, and we are bringing Simplesignal's cloud communications product right into it in an integrated kind of way, and the VARs are loving it, and we're just really doing well with that.
So I feel compelled to ask, we asked a lot of our exhibitors and our speakers here this week what their take was or is on the branding change on Microsoft's part, going from Lync to Skype for Business. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so it's an interesting and highly debated thing, because people don't know if that's going to really work the way that Microsoft wants it to. But when you look at it, I mean, Skype dominates the landscape, and so they might as well use that name to help push them into the marketplace. It comes with, though, a sort of double-edged sword, because Skype can suck. And so, people think, God, if it's as good as Skype, I don't really want it. So, and really That's because typically it goes over the top. There's a lot of best effort there. There's no real QoS. So that's going to hurt the video transmission. It's going to make a lower quality deal. So it's not as though if you give Skype a chance, it's going to work pretty well. So we're excited just to kind of come alongside of, instead of compete with Microsoft and that new product. So the way that we're seeing it is that it's a great combination, Simplesignal and Skype for Business.
And, it seems to be a significant benefit to the market in general, having all of those different, whether they're Google, whether you talk about the Google services, or whether you're talking Office 365 and then hosted or cloud-based link, all of those accessible to the business market, just really helping drive home the fact that, like you said, businesses are believing in and starting to trust the cloud.
Well, and Link was invented for the enterprise. It's just now coming down a bit into that medium-sized business. And so really it's exciting to see that move toward the cloud, to see that voice is just an app and it needs to be incorporated with all of these other applications that make a business succeed and complete that whole communication suite that it needs so desperately.
Are you seeing, and I ask, I've heard some mixed answers to this already this week. Are you seeing more deployments, cloud deployments, where they're replacing old traditional telephony infrastructure, or replacing other hosted or cloud, or even more importantly, replacing on-prem IP solutions?
You just gave me a whole bunch of things to replace, and
right.
Yes,
so I guess
we're
where
seeing all of that. Okay, so when a business now needs a PBX solution, it's not looking for something they have to take care of, something they have to upgrade, something they have to put on maintenance, and then watch it get old and outdated. Instead, really, they understand the idea of future-proofing by building their communication solution out of the applications that exist. We've been sort of teaching that and singing that song now for 10 years.
Right.
But it's gratifying to see it finally catching on, and that's the business's first choice, is rather than invest in all that hardware, they're really starting to think through how they build this in the cloud. So all of the things that you just listed need to be upgraded now because we're just getting that much better. There is so much more available to a business today than there was even a couple of years ago. So they may have a system that needs to be replaced even though it's cloud-based. It just has to be rethought through. And so that's what we do. We teach a lot about how that business can get better. So that whole change out, that whole replacement is fully at work right now today.
How big of a driver towards the adoption of hosted or cloud-based solutions is the idea of true mobility?
So true mobility, that's an interesting one. I haven't thought about what true mobility might be.
Fair enough question.
Yeah, so can you help me with that?
So let's simplify it.
Okay.
The concept of having mobility in your business communications. Has the idea that cloud helps enable that mobility, has that really helped drive people towards cloud?
Oh, absolutely. Because we all live in our cell phones.
Yeah.
The president of AT&T came out a couple of years ago, and he's made this amazing statement. He said, look, there are only two things that if you forget at home, you will turn the car around and go back and get. One is your wallet, and the other one is your mobile phone.
Depending on how far you got.
Yeah.
I'd argue that you might not even turn back for your wallet.
I don't know. I mean...
Your cell phone, yes.
Yes, true. And that's how dependent we get. Because we have to have mobility. We feel like we have to have that ability to communicate to people anywhere, anytime. I mean, that's the promise of the cloud, right? Work anywhere, anytime. And now we work everywhere all the time, so I don't know if that's better. We certainly live in a very distracted era now.
We'll leave that debate for another day.
Yeah, that's right. But, hey, true mobility across all the platforms is what we're really looking for. It's what we strive to create. And in some ways, our life gets better because of it.
Yes. No question about it. Dave, always a pleasure to chat with you. Thank you.
Yeah, always fun. Thank you.
All right.